Elegy written in a country churchyard by Thomas Gray. It is written in the graveyard of the church St. Giles in Stockporges, Buckinghamshire in 1750. It laments the death of all the ancestors of his village of Stockporges in Berkshire, England. So the elegy pays tribute to the rude forefathers of the Hamlet who were poor, neglected, and lived an obscure life. And he praises the simplicity and the honesty of the villagers as virtues that compensate for their lack of wealth, opportunity, and fame. The poet in the last three stanzas turns to himself and introduces his epitaph. So it is said that it may be written on the death of his best friend, Richard West. Shakespeare's Twelfth Night, What You Will, is centered on the characters Sebastian and Viola, twin brother and sister, and their love towards Duke Orsino and Lady Olivia. So a love triangle happens there because of disguising of Viola as Cesario. If music be the food of love, play on. World's most quoted play, world's most filmed story after Cinderella, Hamlet, the hero most discussed in dramatic literature. So, Hamlet procrastination is the main focus in this play. Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark, written in 1601. So, in this drama, you have to give importance to Hamlet's soliloquies, the famous scenes, and the play within play, the murder of Gonzago, which is also known as Mousetrap. To be or not to be, that is the question. Sonnet 18 of Shakespeare's Sonnets is one of the most famous among the sequence, and the sonnet tells how the beloved differs from the summer. His beauty will last forever and will never die. So the theme is the power of speaker's bomb to defy time and last forever, carrying the beauty of the beloved down to future generations. Sonnet 30 went to the sessions of Sweet Silent Thought. So it is a tribute to the poet's friend, which is believed to be Earl of Southampton. So the poet's sorrowful recollections of the dead friends are sparked by the lover's absence and can be quelled only by thoughts of his lover, illustrating the poet's dependence on his dear friend for spiritual and emotional support. Sonnet 116, Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds. This sonnet presents the extreme ideal of romantic love. It never changes, it never fades, it outlasts death and admits no flaw. The Rape of the Lock, written by Alexander Pope, is a mock heroic narrative poem. The occasion for this elegant comic piece was a forceful cutting by Lord Petre of a lock of hair from Lady Arabella Fremo's head. This apparently trivial event causing dissension between their two aristocratic families. So, the poem contains epic devices like the supernatural missionary, showing that the human world is not independent and that it is mostly controlled by superhuman forces. So, some of the expected questions from this poem is the Rape of Lock as a mock heroic poem. Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. The full title is A Tragical History of the Life and Death of Dr. Faustus. So it is based on the German story Faust by Goethe, in which a man sells his soul to the devil for power, experience, pleasure, and knowledge. So in this play, Dr. Faustus also He sells his soul to Satan for knowledge, for pleasure, for power. But the result is that he uses his power for very trivial things, and at the end, he realizes his folly. But what can be done at the end? He just vanishes or he gets doomed. Francis Bacon's essays are known for its witty and aphoristic style of writing with epigrammatic sentences and with familiar subjects which can be related by even an average reader. So in our syllabus we have 3 essays of books of marriage and single life of truth, but unfortunately I was not able to get any notes regarded of the essay of books, but of truth I can give you some information that the essay gives expression to the noble and worthy ideals regarding truth and highlights its supreme value and significance. So, Bacon tells us that inquiry of truth is the sovereign good of human nature. And about of marriage and single life, he gives some good explanations on the married and unmarried men and women, both advantages and disadvantages, which will is some kind of a diplomatic way of dealing with both kind of men and women. But the essay was controversial also. Jonathan Swift, The Battle of Books, is a prose satire which shows a dispute between ancients and moderns. It has a mock heroic setting or a mock epic setting which happens in the Royal Library of St. James, London. So here Swift begins his poem with an invocation of the muse of history and requests her to tell him who first advanced in the first of battle. So the major episodes in the Battle of Books are: the first encounter is between Paracelsus and Galen, then Aristotle versus Bacon, Homer kills a host of moderns, then Virgil versus Dryden, Lucan versus Blackmore, Pindar versus Cowley, Charles Boyle versus Bentley, and Wharton. So the quarrel between the books is summarized by Aesop, and his verdict provokes the moderns to attack their enemies and a battle commences. Here is also the famous, the spider and the bee episode is also here. Here the spider is like the moderns and like critiques. It kills the weak and then spins its web from the taint of its own body, digesting the viscera. And the bee is like the ancients and like authors. It gathers its material from nature and sings its drawn songs in the field. So we can expect question again, like the Battle of Books as a mock heroic poem or as a prose satire. The people's poet of Russia, Robert Burns' A Red, Red Rose. The poem describes the speaker's deep love for his own beloved and promises that his love will last longer than human life and even the planet itself, remaining fresh and constant forever. So, the speaker reaffirms his or her faithful love by promising him to return even if the journey covers a very long distance and takes a very long time. It's a very romantic poem. William Blake's poem The Tyger is from the Songs of Experience. Here, William Blake's tiger is a passionate and fiery creature, a symbol of evil. So, God's love and gentleness is expressed by his most gentle creation, the lamb. And the lamb poem, it's from the collection The Songs of Innocence. So, God created a world with a balance of good and evil so that humanity can see goodness more clearly through the contrast and comparison. So, Tiger serves as a guiding light and inspires humanity to see good more clearly. The tiger is horrifying yet awe inspiring. And the lamb, the poem is a child song in the form of a question or answer. The lamb symbolizes Jesus. So, in the tiger, we can see the poet asking a question that is it the same God who created the lamb, created the tiger?